We finally reached a humanitarian cause. This should be where my expertise lies in. Jackson, we should be ready, willing, and going, right? People on Twitter asking why I didn't cover immigration, the unaccompanied minor situation under Trump, and my head is exploding. Trump created a crisis to feed his base. She covered the crisis. Biden is trying to solve a crisis he inherited, the same way Obama had to inherit the financial collapse from George Bush, the same way Trump inherited the great economy from Obama. They manufactured an issue to hinder the well, in that scenario, not so much, but there was still a rise in, like, Black Lives Matter, the Ferguson shootings, etc., non grata. Biden is trying to solve a crisis he inherited, and the mainstream media is calling it a Biden crisis and framing it in the same terms as Trump's purposefully generated crisis. Seems an addiction to both sides and crisis for clicks. It's not a crisis. What the mainstream media is doing now is realizing that Trump's not in office anymore. Biden is a slow, old white dude. We are back to business. And when I say back to business, I mean back to bombing other countries. I mean back to not giving a shit about black people. I mean back to, like, the rise in hate crimes and all that. All of it is tampering off into normalcy. This is what we should expect of our constituents. This is what we should expect out of American people. And if that sounds horrible to you and you want to move the country, please take me with you. I really need to get out now. My dad's pretty old, but he could also go too. He's a pretty smart guy. He works. He does. He's got some manual labor to him. We could do something. Please get us out of this country now, because they're wilding over here. Please help. Please. This is not a cry for help, but, like, if you could, like, like, please, they called it a problem when Trump was doing it because he was purposefully creating the rules to cause an issue at the border, right? Eroding those rules because they were not humane created a new thing. That was always going to be the case, regardless of whom. I don't care if Joe Biden and Donald Trump got knocked out of the race and Sanders and, like, Rand Paul were the two guys. You'd still have this issue. This is why I don't talk about the Biden, like, thing as it's a thing. It's not a thing. It's the mainstream media's ability not to differentiate the situations. Trump created an issue. He created a humanitarian crisis. That is a crisis. Biden got rid of said crisis. What's happening at the border now is a massive influx because of the thing that was already happening. Like, the situation on the border is serious, and the White House knows it. It's not the most important thing that's happening in the country. Getting people vaccinated is. I don't even want to get into the comments because it's making me. There is no crisis at the border. There's a recurring problem at the border which is being addressed and which could be considerably ameliorated by sensible and humane overhaul of our immigration policies and practices the Trump administration made worse. They always call it a crisis when a Democratic president tries to fix what a Republican one broke because they're not working fast enough. The problem is being addressed, but they don't tell people that on Fox. Elected President Biden obviously wasn't going to magically make all our problems go away overnight, but with his presidency, we've been able to stop our downward spiral. Now we can address our problems and move forward. For me, the difference is that I believe Biden cares about the people at the border as much as he cares about the border problems. Trump never cared about the people. He views expressions of caring and sympathy as weak. Mainstream media takes right-wing, like, clickbait words and assimilates it. That's why the divide was so heavy over how Fox and CNN was covering it, because Fox would continue to put things in a positive spin. Now there is no positive spin because it's not a problem. So now they're just using it to continue the narrative, which then infects people with the idea of, oh wow, something terrible's happening over there. Oh my God, we've got to fix it. Oh my God, the kids in cages. Oh my God, we've got to do it. Oh my God, we got it. Oh my God, we got it. Oh my, yeah, I will keep doing this to make the point. Sorry, I like to make my points. This is not a problem. It's being dragged out. And news media is making it a bigger issue than it is because they need the attention. Because Trump's not there anymore. Who do you blame? You don't want to default back to Trump, even though that would be the logical conclusion, because then you'd have to default back to Obama, which then means you'd have to default back to Bush, which means you'd have to default back to Clinton, and then you just have to keep walking it back. We have sucky immigration policies. We have sucky immigration, like, work throughs. Like, to become a citizen is hard. The pathway is difficult. Instead of analyzing that and saying, hey, we're taking the appropriate steps and it's not going to be fixed overnight, let's take some time to worry about, getting vaccine news out, worried about other news. They want the attention. So, I'm not on the side of the mainstream media anymore. I guess all right-wingers love me now. Like, this has always been a thing. The problem is that it was too obvious under Trump. And now that, you have to walk back all of his policies, now Biden isn't fixing it fast enough. There's a crisis at the border. There will be a new outrage. Think about it. The border situation was happening during the Dr. Seuss thing. You didn't hear one goddamn right-wing news channel talk about the border until it was popular. Why? Because that's how news cycles work under the new informational overload. They want you to keep... I just read a comment that was good. I think. While this is true, it's still the American, it's all about me. A focus on foreign policy towards Central and South America that would assist to stabilize their safety and economy would do more for helping despairing people stay in their home. For helping despairing people... That's a weird comment now. You're exactly right, but perception is reality. And this, more than anything else, can undo any progress Biden makes, even relating to COVID. No one really wants to fix this as long as it's useful and crippling the other side. And now Republicans gleefully have a whooping stick. Yep. Photos from inside a temporary border overflow facility in Texas reveal the crowded makeshift conditions of the border as the government's long-term trial centers, family detention centers fill up. I thought the former president took care of the border situation. He promised a border wall from Cali to Texas paid for by Mexico. This was one of his promises made. Was his promise kept? And this weird-ass, obviously disruptive account said, yes, promises kept. Achieved goals in terms of wall construction despite Dems' resistance. Massively decreased overall illegal immigration. Biden canceled wall project and other Trump immigration policies. Biden created this mess. Now he's plagiarizing Trump's plan. Y'all really don't want me to be on the internet as long as I am. I don't like people who tell me, oh, you're just reactionary. Oh, you're just a left wing. Like, I consume more right wing content than I think almost anyone that doesn't do this for a living. You're bugging me if you don't see these replies and see something desperately wrong with, like, oh, now he's going to take from the Trump playbook. Trump had no playbook. It was racism. Like, this is so disparaging. It's just weird. Now I'm in like the stunned phase. Like, what are you talking about? Hey, thank you for the tier 1 subscription. I appreciate that gift sub. That's really cool. Thank you so much. It's wrong for me to tell somebody to like off themselves, right? It's really wrong for me. What are you commenting here? Soup Nazi Biden. Oh, I guess that tweet didn't hit. See, I start attacking. I'll start attacking like profiles like this. Like, why are you on my internet? Why are you on my internet? What are you doing here? What's going on with you? The greatest trick anyone ever pulled was convincing the people. Oh, Jesus Christ, another one. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I don't know if these people are still on the stream. I don't know if they're watching or not. If you are not subscribed right now currently and you are watching pre-roll ads on this stream, I'm so sorry. It's free to subscribe with your Twitch Prime. I'm not running ads because it's the first stream that I have come back from in 2 weeks. Oh God, I'm gonna end up on a whole other like. But yeah, like, do that for a second. Your move, MSM. Let's see if y'all care about the kids in cages now. That's far worse than it was any time in the last 4 years. What's horrifying is that we're getting 200,000 people per month now. Imagine how bad it'll be as the spring and summer gets closer. What? Huh? 200,000 people? Didn't Dan Crenshaw? Oh, we got to talk about that. Didn't Dan Crenshaw give a number that was lower than that? And then he got fact checked with a number that was lower than that? Who are these accounts? Why do you have so many followers? Oh, God, bro. But the people coming are saying is they're coming because there's no work in their countries. That's not a reason for asylum, so they get kicked out. More are coming every day. So if they're getting kicked out, 72% of people who come here are getting deported right back. Like, now 3 days, they literally get sent back. What the fuck are you talking about? I do not hold Biden solely responsible. He's handled a devastated immigration system. Like, I don't want to be a lib. I don't want to be a lib. I don't. But to go back to the original point of how we got here, like, mainstream media just took the right-wing talking points and just assimilated them into their daily briefings. Stop doing that. They're not the same. There's no crisis. The crisis is not it's the level of humanitarian respect we give people who come into the border. But if we're going to go that far, the immigration process itself is inhumane. The fact that we turn people away for some sake of like, they're coming here to destroy our country. Like, you came to this land to destroy this country. You slaughtered people. Like, you know, Christopher, the Thanksgiving massacre. You know, like, if that's the case, are you trying to prevent something that you did before? Sounds like an ethno state to me.